Oopsie. Hi, River Wright. Welcome to my post debate live stream. I'm hoping the microphone's working because I forgot to check it before I started live streaming. But I guess eventually, hopefully, someone will show up, and if they do, they can tell me if they can hear me. If not, well, oh, awesome. Okay, great, it's working. Yay. Hi. Huh. Thanks for joining me. Yeah, I pulled the green screen away because I haven't figured out how to like turn the green screen on. But you can kind of see, what's actually really behind me is this empty bookshelf, which doesn't look so hot. I used to have books on there, but I moved them to another room. Oh, it's probably too much information. All right, cool. Oh, hi, 888 Wave and Pauline. Yay! Thanks for dropping in. Great. Now that it's only a couple people, I can tell you a secret. Like, all right, I have this. I'm really nervous about filming videos, and it's something that I'm really struggling with. I'm trying to do more, more like short form, like videos of like little like what happened today, and like these 5 things happened today, and I could do 5 separate videos on these 5 things that happened today because like I read everything, I stay up on so much, and like all of my thoughts are clear in my head, but when I sit down and I look at a camera and like I'm staring at myself and I'm trying to talk, I don't know, my mind just kind of goes to mush, and I get like I get really nervous. And I'm also really afraid of saying the wrong thing, like getting something wrong. And that's why I think I really like making the long form cartoons, the really long form cartoons, like my 3-hour like Spygate movie. That took about a year of my life to make. So, but then like just about every word, I feel so. Oh, thank you, 88. Thank you so much. Yeah, I just need to get like people to watch it one day. But I'm good. I'm good scripted. I'm not so good off scripted. Like I'm off scripted now, but because you guys are here. Oh, EO2 Dave, thank you. Hey, thanks. Yeah, yeah, you're probably right. Yeah, I need to take things a little slower. I will get to the debate stuff. I don't know. I'm just talking about my insecurities right now because there's only real red pill 78 mom. Hi. Oh yeah, I remember you. You know what? That's also the great part about having a small channel is that like I actually get to talk with you, and like I remember your messages and stuff, like the stuff you write. You guys are awesome. Thank you so much for all the support. It really does. Like it means more to me than you could possibly imagine. Like I said, I suffer from like a lot of anxiety, and reading your guys' positive messages is just amazing. Kurt Lent said, just be yourself, stop explaining, just talk. Thanks. I'm trying. But if you have anxiety, it's a killer. Oh, Jeffrey Grace, that part of your charm and beauty is your vulnerability and realness. Oh, thanks, guys. Faith is a power. Yeah, I'm trying. All right, I'll stop. I'm right now. I'm breaking like all of the cardinal rules of how to be successful on YouTube. I don't think you're not like really supposed to point out like, oh, this is like what I'm not good at. You're supposed to make everyone think, oh, like I have everything under control, and like I'm the foremost expert on everything. But turns out I'm just a person. So, oh, Mike Mills, Fireball. Okay, yeah. So, hey, Mike, yeah, you always call me Fireball, and you always like make me like Flashman. Thanks. TS 2680 is prayers. Thanks, guys. Todd M. Thanks, Kurt. Yeah. Anyway, so yeah, this is politics channel. Let me talk about politics. So yeah, the debates didn't exactly go as I expected. In some ways, and it did, and in some ways it didn't. Like I was pretty sure that Joe Biden was gonna like slip and fall on a banana peel or catch COVID. I didn't think he would show up. Like just between you and me, I was shocked that he showed up. But then he he also did better than I thought he would. Joe Biden did. But there were still enough errors, if people do like a super cut, he's still, going to be like the stammering, Joe Biden that he is. And I noticed that Joe Biden, when he was talking, he was I think they had coached, it seemed like they had coached Joe Biden not to or basically just to ignore Trump. I think at one point he even said something to the effect of he was just going to ignore him, so he would say something with laugh, but just like, they trained him to stay on focus because, when Joe Biden gets upset, he completely does that weird, like, is it dementia? I don't know, fall apart thing that he does. So he did a good job, I thought, on staying on task. Not that I like Joe Biden. I'm just giving you my honest thoughts before I've watched, what has everybody else said. So that being said, though, I think Joe Biden still had a lot of times, where he was looking very, very ugly. He was actually like, I know people complain about Trump tweeting, but Joe Biden was in the one that was doing all the ad hominem attacks, calling Trump a clown and telling him to shut up and calling him stupid. So, I mean, yes, like Joe Biden did, fall apart. I know I've seen Joe Biden, do the look fat and you're a lion dog face pony soldier and all that. He didn't quite get full lion dog face pony soldier, but he was still very insulting. And I think that works towards, it works in the favor of President Trump because I don't think that, if for the people who are on the fence, believe it or not, I guess there are still like 5 people left in the country that are undecided. But for them, if you're a rational, reasonable person, you're not gonna win people to your side with just kind of like ad hominem attacks, like low IQ attacks. You need things of meat and substance. And then that's where President Trump came in like gangbusters. And also another one of President Trump's appeal, or part of his appeal, is that he is so funny. Like he is amazingly funny. And he came in with a lot of like really good, like just punchy, just that stuff that just, makes you go, oh man, like I've never loved a president like President Trump. Never in my whole life have I had. I'm actually getting ready. Like I'm putting a picture of him up on my mantle. Like I know I've been to people's houses before and seen them where, where they have like presidents, but I've never been moved to that level. And I almost was with Obama, because he was black, and I didn't know about politics at all. I was just like, oh, black guy, you're black, I'm black, yay. But no, even Obama didn't get me to the level I am with Trump. I love, I can't say enough about my president. Oh, he's going up on the mantle though. Oh, so yeah, I mean, he's got this, he came across, he was so confident, and he's funny, he had some really good funny moments, and he knows his facts, and he came in strong, and he really just, he spoke to me, and I I did a lot of yelling at the, hold on a second. I did a lot of yelling at the TV, lot of moments. Joe Biden, was just, I mean, so many lies, and then I got upset. Like they brought up the Charlottesville lie again, that I've done a video on. Where President Trump, is calling people white supremacists or praising white supremacists. And I'm like, how many times do we have to play the same clip? Like, if you would just stop taking the man out of context, like things would be okay. But like they won't and they can't. And I got to tell people like every chance I get that this just isn't true. I mean, it's not by accident that President Trump is gaining, I mean, his support with African Americans is through the roof. It's through the roof, and he's, and with Hispanics too. So like minorities are like, yes, we love Trump. And it's weird because like where he's actually like losing votes seems to be, from white folks. And it's weird that, this racist guy, like we're all like, yay. And then I don't know if it's like, that's like a weird white guilt thing that's causing the support to fall, or maybe it's not really falling and it's these people, it's the hidden voters or the secret Trump voters who are just, they're just scared and they're just saying, oh yeah, we're with Biden because they don't want to lose their jobs. Like that also could explain that weird phenomena. I don't know. I should read some things. Oh, Robin says Trump is a street fighter. It's obvious Chris Wallace met with Joe Pryor. Love him too. He's fighting for we the people. He sure is. He sure is. When I would rank my presidents in order of like greatest to least, for me, it was like it went Washington, Lincoln, and then President Trump. And then, like a couple of months ago, I had to revise. I had to go Washington, Trump, and then Lincoln. Because let me tell you something. Yeah, Lincoln freed the black people. Yeah, he freed the slaves, but that was just the black people. Trump is freeing all of us, okay? So that's how he jumped. That's how he jumped ahead of Lincoln. So it goes, it was Trump, and then Washington, and then Lincoln. And right now, like, I don't know. I think I'm going to have to go Trump. Or sorry, it was Washington, then Trump. Sorry. Started out. Yeah. Washington, Lincoln, Trump. And then Washington, Trump, Lincoln. And now I think we're going to have to go Trump, Washington, Lincoln. He's just, I get it. Like, and here's my reasoning for why he goes ahead of me for with over Washington, and trust me, like okay, so I love George Washington. I really, really, really do. I mean, like first of all, like Washington was there at the. Actually, he was in charge of the battle that got the French and Indian War, the 7 Years' War, whichever you want to call it. Like he was there, like he got that whole thing kicked off, And so like, had he not had that conflict where a French officer was killed, then, we wouldn't have had that fight with France. And then in order to like take over like bigger parts of American stuff, we might not only may have we had to fight with France. I know we did like, I think the Louisiana Purchase was with them later. Okay, all right, let me stay on focus. But okay, so because France was still bitter about their loss technically to Britain, even though it was really us, it was really Washington that really did that. But I'm glad like when Ben Franklin and who was that? John Adams? I think it was John Adams and Ben Franklin like went over to like negotiate with the French. They didn't tell them, hey, by the way, like, I know you want your revenge against Britain, but really you should be getting your revenge against us. Oh man. Sorry. Oh, anyway. Yeah. So yeah, because of the French and Indian War, 7 Years' War, France wanted revenge against Britain, which is why they then in turn joined us and fought on our side against Britain. And we probably, it's a good chance we wouldn't have won without that, but you can thank, President Washington or George Washington. And yeah, so it's just that, like, he just sets everything up. And then, once the with the 7 Years' War, and then once we get to the Revolutionary War, then he just kills it. But here's the thing. So Washington helped us with a birth, kind of like, I don't want to say the birth of the nation, because that's like really close to a birth of the nation, which is like the racist KKK film, the racist film that got the KKK restarted after Woodrow Wilson like screened it in the White House. So I don't want to say, yeah, I'm not. You gotta be careful with everything you say these days. So no, Washington was a big part of the foundation of our nation. And so, hold on, I'm gonna drink. But he didn't do that like in a clean way. And I feel like right now President Trump is, I mean, absolutely, he's the savior of the nation. It's a rebirth of the nation versus just a birth of the nation. But what's going to go more Trump for me versus Washington is going to be when I look at the things that the things that the ugly part of Washington. Washington was a man of his time, but he was a slave owner. And as far as I know, I'll see Trump with any slaves. Maybe I missed that New York Times article, but like that's not a thing. And Washington was the right man for the right time. Warts and all, but he, there was times when he had to like execute deserters. He had to execute American citizens, that were soldiers that tried to desert. And, there's nothing like that on Trump's record. I mean, there are just, Washington kind of has some like serious humanitarian issues, but that I understand, like, he had to be like, only he could have pulled that off, and he was the perfect person, and he had to have those flaws to bring us to where we are now. And I like where we are now. Like, I'm happy I was born. I'm happy to be me. I don't want to live in some other country anywhere else. You talk about privilege. I think, like, what about American privilege? Like, I'll fully, like, attest that I'm in the best country in the world, and it's amazing. And even though it's definitely not perfect, and the Democrats have been crapping on me my whole entire life. Or almost. I'd say I had maybe like a good 10 to 15 year run where the Democrats weren't trying to take away all my rights. But outside of that, I mean, it's, even that included, it's no better place to be than right here. We have so many freedoms. I love this country. You have no idea how much I love this country. There's not even like a close, okay, maybe there's a close second, but not for me. And just something like the freedom of speech, when you realize that, you can like be in Germany and be arrested for making a joke about a pug, or, you can be in Canada and get fines. You can be fined, for jokes, and saying, I can say, and I do say whatever I want, and it's, and I love that. And I see the Democrats trying to take that away, and I get angry. I get very, very angry. I get super mad, because I have not had like full normal rights my whole life. And it's actually like a fairly recent awakening for me that it's all been the Democrat Party. Hold on. Yeah, I was going to talk about this in a separate video, but you guys are still here. EO2 Dave says, God bless America. And he only has one life to give for my country, and he does it willingly. Sorry. Oh, yeah. Jeff says Trump did not pay $750 in taxes. That's what he paid for an extension to pay his taxes in 2 different years. He paid millions. I'd heard that I'm trying to remember what source it was. It said it was 5 million, but then President Trump in the debate said that it was much more than even that. But I did expect it to be low, but not $750 low. But it's like President Trump pointed out, when he was talking with Joe Biden, it's just that, like Biden and, and then Clinton with like getting rid of Glass-Steagall and all that, like these are the guys that paved the way for the billionaire class to not pay a whole lot in taxes. Okay, and this is where I'm going to disagree with the right. Okay, when we hear the right, left, or center, like, all right. So one of the things that I says I don't line up with any one party on anything, and sometimes I feel like with the Republican Party that oh, this is embarrassing. I'm getting thirsty and I can't open this bottle because I'm weak. Oh. All right, I'm probably gonna have to cut this shorter than I wanted to because I'm gonna run out of water. Well, that's a bottle of tea. All right, so sometimes I feel like Republicans cover for the rich a bit. And I also think though that it is to some extent it's the left's fault because they use language that is not very specific. So the main argument tends to be that, the left is like, they like the Bernie, this the 1% or the 2%, like they don't pay anything. And then you'll get, like a Ben Shapiro or somebody, who come out and say, actually the 1% are the ones that like pay like all the taxes, blah, blah, blah. And, so how could you say it's the 1%? And it's not the 1%. It's like the, like the 0.001%. That is the issue. It's not the 1%. It's not, like your surgeons, your renowned surgeons and high priced lawyers. They pay. Those are the people that the money actually comes from. No, the 1% pays. But that little teeny tiny sliver, when you see like all the mega corporations that I think maybe like GM, like Google, like huge corporations, and like they're like, oh, what did they pay? And like, oh, they didn't pay anything. I'm like, what? Yeah, because then it's that part that I have a problem with, and I feel like I don't see, not that I never see Republicans calling that out, but I would like to see more of that. And sometimes I feel like there are things that we should be able to find common ground on. And I think that's one of them. I think that, well, it's not that I think, but here's what happened. Like these mega corporations basically came in and they bought the politicians. And so then the politicians wrote the tax laws so that it would favor, so it favors these mega corporations so that they get to come in and, oh, look, like I'm going to write this off and write this off and write this off. And, oh, this is a loss and this is a loss and this is a loss. And at the end of the day, I pay next to nothing. Like I said, once again, I'm not talking about like the real 1%. I'm talking about that teeny tiny sliver of people who have a whole lot of money, but don't pay anything. Like the people who have, like the Swiss bank accounts and the accounts, like what is it, Cayman Islands or wherever, wherever they go, and they have these weird secret accounts where they're running like money laundering or close to money laundering scams. Like we know about these bank accounts, like we know they exist, they're for the mega rich to be able to rip people off. And we should all be calling that out. And I hate that we aren't all together on that. I remember I was watching a Politicon debate between Ann Coulter and Anna Kasparian. And it not that this is exactly the same, but it's something kind of like that. And they were debating about welfare. And, Anna Kasparian was saying, the Republicans are evil because, they don't like welfare for poor people. And the problem is actually like, welfare for the rich. And then Ann Coulter turned around and said the opposite, no, the problem is, these poor people on welfare and leave the rich alone. And I'm like, can we just say that both things are a problem? Like, why can't both be a problem? Why can we not want to have, like a permanent underclass that's living off the system, and then also not have tax laws that are so complicated that, you could go to school for like 8 years or whatever to do, to learn about this. And then there could still be a dispute over how you do your taxes. Actually, it's a lot more than just 4 years, because if you're mega rich, you have a lawyer, you have a lawyer, or you have like a fleet of elite lawyers that you pay a lot of money, and they keep you from paying taxes. And then you have states like Delaware that are tax, like basically I guess you call them tax shelters, and they have all kinds of special laws that I don't get, and that they don't apply to me, they don't apply to you, and it's really kind of like unfair, like like losses or whatever, you can't realize, like I don't get to realize my losses, like my dog had to go to the vet, I don't get to write that off, but they write off so much. And I'm not going to say that it's, they don't contribute anything. No, they do contribute a lot, in as far as jobs go. But I'd really, honestly, like I'm a proponent of a flat tax. And I understand that the argument against the flat tax is that it's going to affect poor people disproportionately. But the thing is, poor people right now are already affected disproportionately because the super uber mega wealthy folks aren't paying much of anything. So let's just make a system where everybody has to pay something, because everybody likes roads and cops. And well, actually no, I guess yeah, maybe everybody doesn't like cops. I like cops. But I notice as much as people are screaming about defunding the police, those will be the first people to call them when something goes down. Like Melissa says in a fireball way, EO2 or E02 Dave says 28 million. Oh, Clamor 23, good evening. Just got home and saw you're having chat. Hi, Clamor. Yeah, I've just wanted to say hi. I noticed you chatting or commenting and stuff, and just want to say thank you for all the nice stuff that you've said to me. All right, you also say a mixed economy is the best bet to help those in need while letting those with the drive to prosper. That's what our country is, but the left is trying to steer us towards a welfare state. Yeah, I want to I want to steer clear from the welfare state. I hate what they're doing with this. It seems like the left always has to have some sort of, slavery system or permanent underclass. Like originally, originally it was black people, but now it's kind of like illegal immigrants. And, they are fighting they are doing everything they can to make sure that illegal people stay illegal. Like they're not trying to make them citizens. They're like, oh, like, let's make them as comfortable as they can possibly be making less than minimum wage. So we'll give them driver's licenses, because I got to make sure that I have, my cheap maid. It's awful. Like, why? Yeah, it's not quite slavery, but it's not freedom either. And you're like, hey, if you're like, hey, this system is messed up, and everybody who comes here, should be like, you should you should be like, I'm not a big fan of income tax, but if you're going to be here, everyone should be paying their fair share, and you shouldn't be using somebody else's social security number and committing fraud. You should just be able to be here. And, if you can be a proponent of the minimum wage, or you cannot be a proponent of the minimum wage. But either way, like, if that's the law of the land, then it should apply to everyone. There shouldn't be a group of people who come here and you can pay them, like slave wages, like slave labor wages. Oh, yeah, like, it's like, who does that? Oh, wait, I know, the Democrats. So, sorry, you got me on a rant for a minute there. Kurt says to the hostie, I enjoy you. Please watch Yusuf L for law, education, tax, etc. Please. Okay, yeah. I have not heard of that person, but I will. I'll do my best to try to remember that and try to watch that video. KP Dad U450 says, can I name one positive thing Biden did in 47 years? Yes, I can. It was leave office in 2017 when he walked out. That was when he left. That was positive. When he just so if he could just like stay out of government, yeah. When he left, that was the best. Oh, okay, yeah. Oh, all right, yeah. You also like Yosef. All right. Dude, I'm a deep thinker. I love deep thinking. Very smart teacher. All right. Yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, and this is a good part about a small channel. Like, I can, like, if I had a big channel, like, if you posted a comment, it would go like this, and I would never be able to read it, and then I wouldn't know that Yosef is somebody I should go check out. Oh, okay. So bow and arrow. That's pretty funny. Funny name. Yeah, you're for Ben Carson's 10% flat tax. 10%. Oh, sorry, you nailed it. Thanks. Oh man, did I ever finish my thing with? I got so like off on a tangent. Sorry, like my mind wanders so bad about like Trump versus Washington, why I like Trump better. Okay, so anyway, yeah, Washington did all that, like, he had all that bad stuff, which was like having to kill his own troops, and really he killed a whole lot of people. He had slaves. There's some ugly stuff there. All I'm saying is Trump, Trump doesn't have all that. He's been able to accomplish so much, and now, he just got nominated for the Nobel Peace Prize for the third time. Of course, you won't know that, if you're watching the mainstream media, they're going to hide that. I don't know. I love the man, and it's so hard that people can't see him for who he really is, because they hide that. And I don't know, I got to try harder. I got to do better. I got to upload more videos, and I've been yapping for 34 minutes, probably longer than I should. Now I sound like Joe Biden. Oh, sorry. I yield my time. Yeah, no, I should probably let you guys go pretty soon here. Yeah, because I'm almost can't unscrew this bottle. Still can't. Nope. All right, down to this. Yeah. So anyway, yeah, I don't think I lost any. I don't think that I lost any subscribers with this live stream tonight, talking about where I like the times where I don't line up with the right all the time. But honestly, I think sometimes it's better to not always line up, or don't just toe the party line. If there's a subject that you're not strong in, I think that it's okay to say that, like, I don't have an opinion on that. And I'm afraid that that's one of those things that I see a lot of people, they feel like everyone feels like they need to be the foremost expert in everything, or at least sound like it. And I don't have that. Like, I try to learn about things, but if I don't know something, I'll just be like, I don't know, or, let me get back to you on that. Or I'm not the strongest in this subject. But I'm also not from that everyone gets a trophy era. So that might also influence how I see things. We have a sketchy peasant says Trump looked and acted like a kook tonight. Would you care to elaborate on that? What specifically did you disagree with that he said? What did what do you feel like Trump said that was factually inaccurate, or just something that you that really just give me something specific so we can talk about that. Rachel Frenberg says, I don't think anyone lines up with everything in any political group. I don't disagree with that, but I think sometimes I see pundits on TV, and if you corner them and they're not strong on something, they will just default to their party position without knowing anything. But I would agree with you in that, like, if they were, if they took the time to learn more about that specific issue, or if they learned about every, there's a lot of issues, but if you took the time to learn about, like, all the specific issues, there probably would be. So that, so just say, hey, like, I'm not, I don't feel strong. I don't have strong feelings on this issue. Versus just taking that, oh, well, everybody else believes that, so I believe it too. Because you probably don't. Like, if you took the time, you probably wouldn't believe that. We're trying to think. I know there are other things that I don't line up on or line up with. Yeah, a couple things I don't agree with Thomas Sowell on. Not a lot, though. I mostly line up with the the conservative stance on that. Oh, okay. All right. Sketchy peasant. Well, yeah, when he's asked to denounce white supremacy, and he told the Proud Boys to stand back and stand by. Can I explain? I absolutely can explain. Actually, I have a video on here. If you'd like to look on my channel, something called the Charlottesville lie, or something like that, debunked, where I'm sure you probably saw the thing, or you've heard the thing where people talk about, President Trump called white supremacists very fine people. And the thing is, when it comes to him denouncing white supremacy, he has done it so many times over and over and over again. In my video, in just this little video clip, it's just a few minutes. He denounces, I put like a little counter by it. He denounces white supremacy. I'd say no less than about 9 times in a very, very short span. So, I mean, this is something he's denounced it again and again and again and again and again. So, and then when you come to the thing about the Proud Boys, he told the Proud Boys, basically to stand back and he didn't want them to engage in things. And one of the things you have to understand about the Proud Boys are not like a white supremacist group, not by any stretch. It's a group that was started by who was that? Gavin McGinnis as a joke. It was just supposed to be some sort of like weird little like fun, like funny, silly frat thing. But there are people, even like their higher ups are like minorities. Like it's nothing near close to a white supremacist group. And I actually agreed with President Trump on this because I don't want to, or at least I personally, I don't want to engage with like the Antifa and the violent rioters and the Black Lives Matter leader types. I'm just like, hey, like if they're going to like do the violence, like let's rise above that. Let's stay back and not engage. And let's not give people on the left the opportunity to come out and say, oh, look, the right, they are engaging in violence. I don't want that. Even if it's self-defense, like let's just like I am so like pro like Gandhi and Martin Luther King and like so peace. So I agree, and like I said, Proud Boys, not a white supremacist group. What they actually are people who have come out and they respond to Antifa. Because what was happening was that, like, all right, hey, like I'm a little Trump supporter, I'm just trying to go and, listen to, somebody go speak, or maybe I want to go to a Trump rally. And then Antifa, like there's this, like left-wing crazy terrorist organization. They're showing up and hitting people in the head with bike locks and stuff. And people were, just Trump supporters just going around waving little white, like American flags and stuff, trying to go do things and such. And then you'd get attacked by these Antifa people. So then the Proud Boys were guys that showed up in response. They were basically just defending people, and for all that, honestly, like I just stayed away from all of that. If I thought that there was going to be violence, like I don't show up. I don't have the temperament to like go out and be there and have somebody like in my face yelling at me. Like I'm not the one. Like I'm not. Don't do that, because I can't. I just like I will lose my cool. Like it won't be good. Like I'll be one of those people getting arrested because somebody threw something on me, and you're not throwing something on me, and then then nothing happens. So that's why I just avoid that, because I couldn't do that. All right, so sorry, I'm reading some comments here. Oh, Forrest Hunter just saying hi Forrest. Just want to say hi. Thank you for like always coming out and or commenting on videos and stuff. And yeah, I love it. Okay, thank you. Love you. You're great. Bow and Arrow says Proud Boys are highly considered as patriots and alpha males, and not beta males like communist Antifa. And somebody else. Oh, there's some message I can't read. It's held for review. It probably has some curse words in it. Oh yeah. By the way, yeah. Don't put curse words in here, because like I have my comments set up to like block curse words or whatever, just because I don't know, just trying to keep it clean. I think if like you have like, I don't know, I just trying to keep it clean. Like I don't curse in the video, so I'm just in my video, so I try to keep the comments also kind of like on that level. Okay. All right. Sketchy peasant. All right. This is interesting. I don't mind debating. I think with sketchy peasant. Actually, for me, this is kind of like it's kind of like some I don't know, kind of like practice here. All right. You say first. You say, all right. You say you believe the Proud Boys are far right. First of all, I'm wondering, can you define far right? I honestly, I have no idea what far right even means. Okay, neo-fascists. So you believe that you believe that they promote violence. I'm gonna have a hard time with that too. And then you say they're kooks. So I can't really deal with kooks. That's an ad hominem attack. Like if you're gonna talk to me, we got to go more with facts, just not like name calling. I'm sorry, I have to strongly disagree with you. I don't see them as people who are promoting violence. They are, I would say, perhaps reacting to violence. I would say they're more acting and they're more self defenders. And here's the proof of that. Just recently, they announced that they were showing up in a major city. It could be Philly. I could be wrong. But this just came out a couple days ago. But they were, they announced a Proud Boys meeting, and then what happened? Like Antifa, BLM, they showed up, for a big counter protest, and it was funny. The Proud Boys actually trolled them really hard. They didn't show up. They didn't show up at all. The Proud Boys didn't show up. And guess what? Like Antifa/BLM did. They went out there and they just started beating up random people. They just started attacking people who had nothing to do with anything. So I'm not really understanding how that has anything to do with them, how they are the ones who were out there promoting. No, they're the defenders. And then you and then your next thing is Trump said he paid millions of dollars in taxes in 2016, 2017. There's proof he only paid $750. Yeah, there's also proof that he paid millions of dollars. So you're gonna have to look at more proof than that. How do I feel about paying more in federal taxes than President Trump? Well, I didn't, but let me play devil's advocate for you or with you for a moment. Let's just say that I did. Okay. Let's say I did. Let's say he only paid $750 and I paid more. You know how I feel about that? It doesn't bother me one bit. You know why? Because I've been watching President Trump since day one. Like I was watching him in 2015 when he came out and he was bragging about, how, he would go out and he would buy like these Democrat politicians and, and they were for sale. And, like he paid Hillary Clinton to come to his wedding, and you go out and you buy these people and they write these tax laws for you. And he's taking advantage of the system, but he's pointing it out. I loved him for doing that. I loved him for having the cojones to come out and say, yeah, like these people are corrupt. They're the ones who wrote the laws that I take advantage of. And I'm like, all right, am I supposed to be, okay, so businessman Trump from 2015, am I supposed to have like higher expectations for, like generic businessman, like entertainer, reality TV star? Or like, am I supposed to like look at my representatives and be like, hey, no, actually, you guys shouldn't have sold me out. No, I'm going to be mad at the politicians who sold me out, not the people who were able to pay them off, because I voted for them. Like you spoke to me and you promised me as a politician, you were going to do the right thing, and you didn't. President Trump, when he was just businessman Trump, reality star Trump, he didn't make that promise to me. And I loved his brutal honesty. He totally told the truth. He told the truth. I love him. I love him to death. So I don't know how do you, sketchy peasant, how do you feel about, being on the side of the man who wrote those laws? That was Joe Biden. Joe Biden's been in government for like almost 50 years. He wrote that stuff. How do you feel about Bill Clinton, and getting rid of Glass-Steagall and like all these other things that people do? And honestly, I don't care. I don't care if, we can go into the stuff that like Bush 1 or Bush 2 did, that was pro, that's like pro big business, because don't think that I like Bush or Bush. I don't. Not at all. Not even a little bit. Some of these bad trade deals, they came from Bush 1. I think that's bull crap as well. But I'll tell you what, like I said, I like the guy who's willing to point out the bull crap and point out the system way more than I do than the people who contributed to it and who got rich from that, and their kids got rich from that, like Hunter, who not only got like 3.5 million from the mayor's wife of Moscow, but then also he flew to China on Air Force 2 and flew out with $1.5 billion. They are everything wrong. This is the swamp. And what you are looking at right now is the response to why the media hate President Trump. Is he is the one who is actually draining the swamp. Do you think the swamp goes peacefully? It doesn't. It doesn't at all. This is what it looks like when you drain the swamp. You are attacked on all sides. It is ridiculous. And the lies and the lies and the lies. The swamp doesn't go quietly. Even Nancy Pelosi's son is in, getting that Ukraine money. John Kerry's stepson, he's in getting that Ukraine money. Biden's son, Hunter, is in getting that Ukraine money. Let me tell you something. Foreign aid is a joke. It's not real. Foreign aid, 99 times out of 100, is nothing but a payoff to big money donors. If you look into Hillary Clinton and what she did in Haiti, okay? Because what happens is, okay, so you're president, generic person, whatever, and you're going to pay money to generic dictator in third world country. Generic dictator in third world country is going to take your millions or billions of dollars, and then that money, it's not going to go to help the people. No, it's going to go to build a road from the dictator's house to a beach. And then the dictator is going to be the only one who uses that road. And then all those big money donors, they're going to come in and they're going to get the contracts. And those contracts, they're going to be the ones who are, building this private road for this dictator, and the people suffer and life never gets any better for them. It's nothing but a kickback. And then there's also a million other schemes where, they send you, I'm going to exaggerate, but they'll sell you like a $5 million house for $1. All right. It's not the actual, the actual money ratio isn't that bad, but it's stuff like that. They have a million different schemes. And so, when I see people and their kids are all getting rich and they're not, with do nothing jobs, and Hunter is the worst of the worst. He's the worst of the worst. He is a crackhead. You can go and look up his, his records and stuff. But nothing ever happens to him. He had a rental car. Hunter Biden had a rental car where he left not only like a crack pipe, and they said like a white powdery substance, like there was a Secret Service like business card, like his wallet, his credit cards, all that, and a crack pipe. And nothing happened to him. You know why? Because he's Hunter Biden. It's awful. So Hunter Biden, a crackhead, who, by the way, later, first of all, like he was hooking up with his dead brother's wife while he was still married, and then he knocked up some stripper. It is insane. And now it's come out. Oh, he was paying. Yeah, he has money that's linked to going to what I think prostitution rings, but I think that but they're saying that they were possibly linked to human trafficking. So not even people who are just there against their will. Like, it's awful. It's awful. It is so bad. and it is so corrupt, and we're shining the light on it, and the and you know, people are trying to stop it. Okay, so yeah, Trump is a swamp. I don't think you know what the swamp is. The swamp are the people who got rich through politics. That's not President Trump. He made his money through real estate. So like, you're not that's not what the swamp is. Okay? He is the anti-swamp. Now he's somebody, don't confuse him running in the same circles as people who are rich. Don't confuse that with being the swamp. The swamp are politicians that got rich off of that. Yeah, Tom McDaniel saying Trump hasn't gained any money, unlike Biden, who got rich as VP. That's a good point. Yes, President Trump gives away his salary. He gives away, and not only that, but he's been losing money since he's been in office, because you know, people are just so crazy, and it's like, oh, boycott everything and ban everything. Oh, that's Liza. What you doing, Liza? What you do? Get at sorry, Liz. Liza's a Boston Terrier. Hey, you're not Liza. You're distracted. Go. Sorry. Tom says, dictators never help their people. Trump's under audit for yeah. We all know. Yeah, thank you for pointing out. Yeah, Trump's under audit. We all know this. We knew this before we before we voted for him. Yep. Hunter could make it in the military. Yep. Thank you, Tom. Yes. Hunter, due to his drug and alcohol problems, you know, first of all, he was able to get like a special dispensation in order to even get into the military at, like his advanced age. And then he got thrown out because he can't keep it together. And I'll tell you what, Sketchy Peasant, can you please tell me, can you tell me why did China give $1.5 billion to a crackhead? I'll wait. Somebody want to tell me why China gave $1.5 billion to a crackhead? Why? Why in the world would you do that? That's the swamp. That's the swamp. That's what I'm against. And there we go. Bow and Arrow says 14.2 billion was donated to Haiti. And Liza, shh. Come here. You're not supposed to be here. No, you got it. You're throwing me off my game, Liza. You're throwing me off my game. Oh, Liza. Yeah, I know her eyes are wonky. She got wonky eyes. You're okay, Liza. Just okay. You just gotta stop that. 14.2 billion to Haiti in 2010 to the Clinton Foundation. Haiti only saw 2%, which equals it. Yep. Yeah. So you're talking about the Clinton Foundation, where actually only 10% of the money actually goes to charity. It is. It's one of those abominations, and I'm so psyched right now that Durham is looking into that, because there's no way. Honestly, right now they could interview me. You could interview me, and I could tell you how the Clinton Foundation is like funneling money through like various charities, or at least I could tell you about like one path. Like it is so bad. Like it is so it's so awful. All right, so Sketchy Peasant says, explain the trademark. Explain the stuff about Ivanka. Okay. Yeah, the stuff about like Ivanka and the Trump kids are that they're actually business people. They're not crackheads. They're business people. And they were like international business people before now. And when we voted, like when I voted, you know what I knew? I knew I was voting for a man who was an international businessman who had children that had international businesses. Now, because I'm not blind to that fact. I definitely took that into consideration when I voted for him. And I said, like this could be a problem. There is a potential, for something like that to happen. But is this against the law? Is it against the law for someone to have a business? And I said, okay, it's not, it's legit. And like I said, they've already made their money. They've already, the billions were there before this. And I listened to but that seriously did weigh on my mind, because I am very much into being concerned about and looking for corruption. And I will say, I am very, very, very happy that I made the choice I did. I do not regret it, not one bit. But no, I think that is something that's a legit concern. That is a legitimate, it's a legitimate concern. I'm a fair person. But, we're just, I made a good call this time around. That's not to say that if there was another, just say, people let Bloomberg run, no one was like, oh, Bloomberg, you have way too much money. Same thing, Andrew Yang, way too much money. You're a businessman. You can't run. We don't do that. We don't. And I would rather see, an independently wealthy businessman run than to watch, these Democrats and Republicans, these corrupt ones, and their kids, who come in with nothing and then leave with millions. But that's just me. Okay, it's not cool to talk about people with drug and alcohol problems, but it's real. It's real. I'm a real person. Like I'm real. I'm not going to stick my head in the sand about drug and alcohol problems. And you are right. There are people in my life with drug and alcohol problems. Yeah, one of my best friends in the whole wide world right now is losing a battle to opiates. Yep, it's losing the battle. I had another one of my really close friends that committed suicide due to, addiction. Yeah. And you know what? I'm still talking about it. So, it's a part of life. I'm going to talk about things that are real. I'm going to talk. I'm not, if you're looking to be, for someone who's going to censor and act like that stuff doesn't exist, you come to the wrong channel. You got to go talk to somebody else. I talk. Yes, Tom McDaniel said China is trying to control America through proxies, aka Biden. Exactly. That's what that 1.5 billion was for. When you fly in on Air Force 2 to China, you fly with all that money. Right. And that's one of the reasons why Biden cannot and should not be the president, because he's going to roll over. He's going to roll over, and show his belly to China, just like the NBA. They won't call, I mean, come on. Like the Chinese, they're harvesting people's organs and, imprisoning, like the Uyghurs and all kinds of just the worst humanitarian crime. Like some of the worst, like humanitarian, like offenses and stuff that are going on and just in 2020. And people are getting ready to vote for somebody who's completely sold out to this evil system. It's awful. Sometimes I just have to chalk it up and say that, like, people just don't understand. They really don't understand, and that people are good-hearted people, and they just, they're watching the media and the mainstream media, and they're doing a really, really good job at, just being, just promoting things that aren't true. It's rough. All right. Oh, okay. Bone Air says there are 2 Durhams. I hadn't heard that. All right. Okay. So sketchy peasant okay. So now you're asking me about foundations. You're asking me about the Trump Foundation. Okay. All right. Let me just speak to foundations in general. Here's my view on foundations. I don't like foundations. Okay. I don't like foundations at all. I think they're a bunch of bullcrap. I think that they are. All right. So tax evasion is illegal, but tax avoidance is totally okay. And tax avoidance and money laundering are like at like 1 o'clock and 2 o'clock. They are like this close. Basically, the difference is like how much did you spend on your lawyer in a lot of cases. So no, I'm not a fan of foundations. They're tax havens. They're money shelters for the uber rich. And once again, you got to go back and look and see who wrote the laws that allow that. Nobody that I support. Nobody that I support. Whether it's Democrats, which I really, really hate, or rhinos like the Bushes, which I also really, really hate. So once again, it goes back to the tax things. I'm not mad about President Trump for taking advantage of laws that rich people were able. Okay, I'm not mad about him because he's willing to call it out. But in general, no, I'm not a bit. I don't like foundations, and I really, 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 really hate the Clinton Foundation because they pulled into is it close to like $2 billion? $2 billion. And once again, the way that they got their money is not the way that President Trump got his money, which is like mainly through like real estate. No, like they go all over the world, collecting money. And let me say, when Hillary Clinton was Secretary of State, back in 2009, I believe, she was supposed to, she had an agreement where she was going to disclose her donors, like the donors to the Clinton Foundation. And instead of disclosing her donors, what she did instead was they had the all right, so we're going to go back to Uranium One times. And yeah, now I'm going to play a little commercial for me. Check out my Uranium One video. It's really cute. It's little cartoons and everything. It's the first cartoon that I did. So I don't have a lot of the sources in. I actually will probably at some point redo that video. But what happened was that, yeah, so Bill Clinton met this guy named Frank Justra, and he was part of the whole Uranium One scam. But he and Justra set up the Clinton Justra something partnership, and then they set up the Clinton Justra something partnership Canada. So according to their interpretation of Canadian law, because Hillary's supposed to disclose all her donors. So they set up, their Canadian wing of this certain charity, because the Clinton Foundation, there's a whole bunch of different like mini foundations that make up the Clinton Foundation. They set up the Canada branch. And so, yeah, according to their version of Canadian law, donors don't have to disclose who they are. So then you get money coming in from, like from Saudi Arabia, from Russia, like from all kinds of different places. And then they don't have to say who they are. And then they take it from the Canadian branch and then they move it over to the American branch. And when it comes to the American branch, the only donor that's listed is the Clinton Justra Partnership Canada. And then, but that's what it says in the American version. So they hide their donors, and they were taking money from all over. Like one place, Bill Clinton's 5 45-minute speech where he made $500,000 from Renaissance Capital Bank that was pushing Uranium One stock at the time. So, you know, when people talk to me, oh, like the Russian collusion, no, there's the Russian collusion right there. That was the first part of it. And then it was another thing. They used Rosatom, which is the Russian nuclear energy company. They used Salida Capital. They own Salida Capital. And then they used Salida Capital to donate, you know, to the, you know, to the Clintons that way, you know, like, so basically, you know, they're just moving. When you look into it, you'll see money moving, you know, from governments to foundations, and I, like I said, I don't like foundations, to foundations to foundations. And you have to follow the money in the paper trail. And when you do, it's all dirty and it's the swamp. And I hate the swamp, and we need to drain the swamp. And we finally have someone shining light on the swamp. And it is fantastic. Tom says, oh, Tulsi was the best competitor the left had, but they dissed her at the first chance. They sure did. I like Tulsi. I mean, in as far as the Democrats, and as far as the Democrat candidates, you know, it's like with Tulsi, you could almost sleep at night, you know, like if she was in charge, almost. You know, I mean, but she was, you know, she seemed like a very good, genuine person. And clearly she wasn't part of the swamp because, you know, they came after her with the phony Russian lie too. Oh, Tulsi is she's an agent or whatever. So as soon as I see the mainstream media attacking someone, it does the opposite for me. I think they're a legitimate person. Okay, Tom said, yeah, Biden would step down and Harris would be president. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and you know what? You know what happens when when Harris is president? I guarantee you get a Vice President Clinton, Vice President Hillary Clinton. And then you know what happens when you get Vice President Hillary Clinton? You'll get a whole bunch of people typing in YouTube comments that Kamala Harris didn't kill herself, because then you get President Hillary Clinton. No way. No. If I was her, if I was Kamala, no, and Hillary was right behind me. Nope, no, I would sleep with one eye open. That girl, no, do not do that. Do not make Hillary, like, if you want to live, do not make Hillary your vice president, because Hillary's gonna be president. Something's gonna happen to you. No thanks. No thanks. Oh, Joe says Trump Nation 2020 landslide. Yep, that's what I'm hoping for. Sketchy Peasant. Yeah, you asked about the Trump Foundation, and I talked about the Clinton Foundation. No, I did talk about the Trump Foundation. I said I don't like foundations. I'm against foundations, and I said I'm not as disturbed by his as I am from hers, because their money came from like legitimate businesses and real estates, and that I blame both Rhino Republicans and Democrats for making the laws to allow that. So I don't like foundations. Okay, I addressed it. Actually, no, I didn't bring up either the Obama or the Clintons. I addressed everybody. Did you miss the part where I said Rhino Republicans and Democrats? Like, sorry, that you're not listening to me. It's not typical. Like, I call things out when I see them. Okay. And I said, you will not catch me, you know, throwing any kind of love towards Bush 1 or Bush 2. But hey, like I said, he's this guy. I don't mind that Sketchy Peasant is here. I mean, that's cool. You know, like, I like a lively debate. I don't think that, I don't feel like you haven't said anything. I don't feel like you've been disrespectful. I don't mind, talking with people with different views, I mean, I hope you're not the person with the comment that was like censored by YouTube because it said something awful or something. But no, that's cool. You want to talk? I'll talk. I talk all day, every day. I'll talk to people. It doesn't bother me. Trying to keep up. Bone Air says, without Without an open mind, then Tom says Harris would mysteriously die if Hillary was a real VP. Oh, I know. I know. Like, yep, Kamala didn't kill herself. Well, yeah, thanks, Sketchy Peasant. Really, you say you don't watch just one news source. That's good. I don't. Actually, that's how I wound up making my switch from I guess liberal to being a liberal to being a conservative. I used to be a liberal, but actually it was my mom that taught me to listen to things that I disagree with. I'm sure she regrets that now because she hates Trump. But no, like I love listening to like all kinds of different things and different opinions. And there's some guy I got to go back and look through these comments. There's somebody else that I haven't heard of that they told me to listen to. But yeah, I love listening to like Joe Rogan. Like I love the Joe Rogan podcast. Like because he'll have so many like different like cool people on and just hearing like different perspectives. I mean that's the American experience, that's why I'm so afraid of like YouTube censorship. There's a like a quote from Prince. I'm going to mess it up. But he was Prince, or the artist formerly known as Prince. He was doing an interview and he said, I'm paraphrasing, but when I found out there were presidents before George Washington, I was pissed. I, like give me, who decided that I couldn't learn about this? You give me all the information and I'll figure out, what things are from there. And that's basically like my opinion. That's why I'll talk to anybody, I'd talk to, David Duke or, really anybody. Like I'll sit down because I am a proponent of Hegelian philosophy, which basically says that you can glean information from even the most, I guess, objectionable sources, so that would be your white supremacists, as long as, they're not going to kill me or anything, but but you have to be able to listen to people and even if it's just to test your own beliefs, like, what do I believe? If you're closed-minded and you're not willing to talk to people, then that's really your loss and you're not growing as a person. And who's right about everything? Nobody's right about anything. So yeah, Sketchy Peasant, come on in here. You're more than welcome anytime. You've been respectful. You want to ask questions? That's great. I love questions. And I love seeing, like, do I have the answers? Like, how much do I know? I mean, for me, it's just practice because, you're not, I guess you can't see, like, I'm not like typing. Okay. So my keyboard is over here. So if my arms, if like I look like Rubber Man, then I am like typing things in and I'm looking things up to answer your questions, but I'm not. Like I'm just, seeing what I know off the top, seeing what I know off the top of my head. So that's cool. Oh, Mr. 05 Chuck says hello, beautiful. Hi. Yep, Tom watches a lot of internet sources. Yeah, that's good. That's good. Dinesh D'Souza is a great one. I like Ben Shapiro for certain things. He's really good. All right, Sketchy Peasant. I guess I'm guessing you're saying that you watch Fox, ABC, PBS, NPR, Washington Post, New York Times, and AP. Hey, Sketchy Peasant, you know what? Somebody you might want to check out who does really good, like. You might want to check out Dan Bongino. I would say do a Dan Bongino challenge. Just watch Dan Bongino for like 2 or 3 weeks. I think he's going to show you things from like a whole different perspective. And here, like, so one of the things I did was I watched the Young Turks for a whole year. And even though, I did not agree with them politically, I still feel like there were some things that like I could take away from them. If that You know, so really you gotta look at different things and watch things you don't agree with for sure, you know, and that way you can talk to people because you know you're not going to agree, you know, I'm sure you have friends that have all kinds of different beliefs and you're not going to go you know, you're not going to agree with everybody on everything. That's fine, but if you watch people that you don't agree with, at least you can maybe sometimes see where your friends are coming from and not look at them like, oh well, you know, you're just dumb, or you know, you're a racist, or you're a bigot, or you're stupid, you know, and just, hey, like, here's a person, they're trying to present their case or whatever, and maybe they're coming from a good place. Honestly, usually what it is that we all want to get to the same place. You know, everybody wants like a decent life and to have you know, like nice things and stuff. And then, but here's the thing. Oh, all right. So we're both trying to get the same spot downtown. I want to make a right turn. You want to make a left turn. We're both trying to get downtown, and maybe, you know, maybe we both get there eventually. But you know, I think that the way that I go is going to be a little faster. You think your route's going to be a little faster, but we're not that far off. We're really not. Oh, sketchy peasant. Oh, you're cool. Thanks for the, hey, thank you for the dialogue, man. Just, oh, I'll watch him if you watch David Parkman. I've seen a little bit of David Parkman. Like I do. Like you know, he's big. I'm telling you, I watch a lot. I watch a lot. I do. But I can. All right. How much of David Parkman do you want me to watch? If you watch, if you watch that, but I'm telling you, you're gonna have to come, Sketchy Peasant. You're gonna have to come back, and you're gonna have to like leave a comment on a video. Like the next video I did, you're gonna have to comment on it. But I'll watch some. I'll watch some more David Parkman, even though I know who he is. All right, you have many friends that are Republicans, all good people. They just have different views and philosophies, and that's cool. That's cool. Because I think that, you know, if you didn't believe that, you would have left this discussion a long time ago. Tom says if Trump says something, I hear it from Trump, not someone else. And that's good too. Yeah, that's another good thing. That's really important, I think, for understanding. If you want to know where like Trump supporters are coming from, you kind of have to listen to President Trump long form. Because President Trump isn't like a typical politician, which is another reason why I really like him. I don't like that whole like Stepford wife and like everyone pretending like they never curse and they're perfect people. I think it's, for me, I know like it's off-putting for a lot of people, but for me, it's refreshing to see somebody who just talks like a regular person. I like it. So Tom says, nice dialogue. Abby Cat says, try quite frankly. I'm not sure what that is in reference to. Oh, wow. Yeah, but it's getting pretty late. I should probably act like I have a job that I have to go to in the morning. Yeah, but oh, yeah, Sketchy Peasant. Oh, it's refreshing. Awesome. Glad we're able to have this this chat. I hope you know, you can hit that subscribe button there, Sketchy Peasant. even if you never, I'm just saying, you could. I'll talk to you. How many other people talk to you? All right, Bone Arrow, nice talking to you, Sketchy Peasant. Yep. Yeah, all right. Bone Arrow's shutting it down. Yeah, I gotta shut down too. I guess we gotta work tomorrow. Great conversation. I'll talk to you guys later. I'll do another video later. All right. Good night, everybody.